The silence is the worst part. It rings in K.I.E.'s ears, louder than the scream that came before it. He stumbles through the giant ferns, the shaft of his broken spear clutched in one hand. Its fire-hardened tip snapped clean off. He does not look back. To look back is to see Una, or what is left of her, being dragged into the psychic groves by the things that move like blades in the shadows. The air, thick with the smell of damp earth and decay, now carries her scent, and Kaelen's stomach heaves. This is the third hunter lost in as many moons. The pack is learning. This is the terrifying truth at the heart of their dwindling existence as Homo Erectus. The scythes, as they call them, are not mere beasts, they think. He reaches the relative safety of the rock overhang that serves as the Broken Tusk clan's shelter. The fire, their one defiant star against the oppressive green twilight, casts flickering shadows on the faces of his kin. They are 20 now. They were 30 at the start of the wet season. Bor, the clan elder, rises to meet him, his face a mask of granite and grief. He sees Kalen is alone, sees the splintered spear, and his broad shoulders slump. Another piece of their future has been torn away. The pack used to lure this time, a single, smaller creature making sounds of distress near a berry patch, drawing Una just far enough from Kaelen's side. The others erupted from the ferns in a blur of synchronized death. It was a strategy. It was a plan. Later, as the double moons begin their ascent, the clan huddles close. The night is no longer a time for rest. It is a siege. The tools of their survival, spears of bone and wood, flint knives sharp enough to butcher a stegosaurus, are tools of osteodontokeratic technology born from a different kind of fight, for a different kind of world. They are useless against an enemy that strikes and vanishes, an enemy that strikes and vanishes, an enemy that turns their own intelligence against them. This is a new, brutal chapter in hominid history. The chilling, bird-like chirps of the Deinonychus echo from the jungle, a form of communication they are only beginning to understand. The pack is out there, patrolling the edges of the firelight, their unblinking eyes watching, waiting for the slightest mistake. Each call is a message, a tactical report that the small, soft-skinned apes are still cornered. The primal fear is a physical weight, pressing down on their chests, making every breath a conscious effort. Bor stares into the flames, the faces of the lost swimming in the embers. Their courage is not enough. Their strength is not enough. The scythes are cutting them down, one by one, and he knows, with a certainty that chills him more than the night air, that they need a new kind of fire. The next dawn brings not hope, but a gnawing hunger that sharpens their fear. The scythes have them pinned, cutting them off from the berry thickets and the stream where the fat-bellied fish run. A state of siege is a death sentence delivered on the installment plan. Kalen feels awareness absence like a missing limb. Guilt is a poor hunter, it finds no food. He watches Bor rationing the last of the dried meat and knows that observation is no longer enough, but action is what the pack preys upon. He takes the remains of his spear, a pathetic shard of wood, and slips from the shelter before the others can protest. His hunt is not for food, but for a weakness. He moves with a newfound purpose, a ghost in the humid, oppressive air of the prehistoric world, determined to understand the anatomy of their doom. He needs to see how the pack lives, how it communicates, how it can be unmade. He tracks them to the wide, muddy river that bisects the territory, a dangerous artery of life where all manner of dinosaurs converge. He finds a vantage point high in the tangled roots of a giant cypress, his body pressed against the bark, becoming another shadow in a world of them. Below, a herd of Parasaurolophus wades into the shallows. They are magnificent, their ornate head crests catching the dappled light. They are usually placid, their calls are melodic, mournful music that drifts through the jungle. But Kalen is not watching them. He is watching the ferns on the far bank. He sees the twitch, the subtle parting of leaves that betrays the hunters. The scythes emerge not in a rush, but in a flowing, intelligent crescent, their sickle claws held aloft, ready to disembowel. The lead Parasaurolophus, a massive bull, lifts its head. It sees the threat, but instead of fleeing, it braces its powerful legs, inhales deeply, and unleashes a sound unlike any other, It is not a cry of panic. It is a blast, a physical wave of low-frequency sound that resonates follow cranial crest. The sound slams into Kalen, vibrating through the wood and into his bones. It is deep, powerful, and utterly disorienting. Their fluid, coordinated attack shatters into chaos. One raptor shakes its head violently, as if trying to clear water from its ears. Another stumbles sideways, its predatory focus gone. Their greatest asset, their ability to communicate and move as one, is jammed by the wall of sound. The herd of Parasaurolophus uses the momentary confusion to thunder away into the safety of deeper water. He stays frozen in the tree, the echo of the blast ringing in his marrow. His eyes dart from the confused raptors to a massive, fallen log near his position, its core rotted out by time and insects. A hollow chamber, an amplifier. The thought is a lightning strike, a moment of brilliant, impossible synthesis that is a leap in human evolution. The sound was a weapon. It was not tooth, not claw, but a force that broke the mind of the hunter. And perhaps, just perhaps, it was a sound they could learn to make. He scrambles down from the tree, his mind racing faster than his feet. He crashes back into the clan's shelter, breathless, covered in mud, holding not meat, but an idea, a desperate, insane gamble born from the roar of a gentle giant. Bio listens, his weathered face impassive as Kalen speaks, his hands carving the air, mimicking the long crest of the Parasaurolophus, his voice dropping to a low rumble to imitate the sound. The others watch, a mixture of skepticism and desperation in their eyes, to fight sound with sound. It is the logic of a fever dream. But the clan's survival skills are failing, their tools are inadequate, and the memory of On's fate is a fresh wound. Bioa looks at the faces of his dwindling kin, the hungry children, the weary hunters. He looks at the fire in Kalen's eyes. He gives a single, sharp nod. The dream will be attempted. Their work on this piece of primitive technology begins with a frantic energy born of near certain doom. They cannot fell a giant tree, but they find 3 half-rotted logs near the riverbank, their cores already softened by termites. For 2 days and a night they labor without rest. Using sharpened stones and the patient agony of fire, they scrape and burn the insides, hollowing the logs into massive, crude horns. The work is grueling. Splinters tear at their hands, smoke stings their eyes, but the rhythmic chipping becomes a prayer against the chirping calls of the pack, which seem to mock them from the tree line. On the 3rd night, they are ready. The hunger is a sharp pain in their bellies, a perfect lure for the patient hunters in the dark. They arrange the 3 massive logs at the mouth of their rock shelter, pointing them toward the jungle like the accusing fingers of a vengeful god. Kalen, Bor, and a stout hunter named Grak take their positions. They have practiced, learning to cup their mouths and force from their diaphragms, producing a low guttural drone that, on its own, is pathetic, but they are not counting on their own voices. They are counting on the physics of a hollow tube, a secret of nature they have stolen. The bait is set. 2 of the younger members move just beyond the firelight, their deliberate sounds of struggle echoing into the night. It does not take long. The silence descends, the terrible, hunting silence that always precedes an attack. From the darkness they emerge. Not 2 or 3, but at least 10 of the Deinonychus, a tide of Sith claws and predatory intelligence flowing toward the firelight. They move with the terrifying confidence of an apex predator that has never known failure. As the first raptor breaks into a charge, Bioa gives the signal. Now, the sound that erupts from the logs is monstrous. It is not their sound anymore. It is amplisound anymore. Resonant wave of noise that slams into the night. It is the stolen thunder of the Parasaurolophus, a disorienting, deafening blast that rips through the senses. The charging dinosaur falters, skidding to a halt, shaking its head in confusion. The rest of the pack stops, their intricate formation breaking as the wave of sound washes over them. Their chirps of coordination turn into shrieks of distress. They cannot hear each other, cannot think. Their weaponized communication has been turned against them. For a few eternal seconds, The night is filled with their panic and the clan's relentless, artificial roar. Then, they break. They turn and flee, a disorganized rabble, crashing into one another as they scramble back into the sanity of the silent jungle. The clan of the broken tusk stands in the firelight, chests heaving, their throats raw, listening to the fading sounds of their terrorized tormentors. They have not killed a single one. But they have won. They have found a new kind of fire. They have answered the claw with a roar. The loghorns stand as silent sentinels at the cave mouth, a testament to a turning point not just for a single clan, but for a species. The air is still thick with the smell of ozone and fear, but for the first time in months, the silence is not a threat. It is a respite. This victory was not won with stronger muscles or sharper teeth, but with a spark of observation, a leap of associative thought, and the collective will to turn a mad idea into a tangible defense. Here, in this forgotten corner of a prehistoric world, a fundamental shift has occurred. The hunted have learned to manipulate the tools of their oppressors, to turn the very air into a weapon. They have asserted their right to exist through ingenuity. The struggle of these early humans is the crucible in which our own defining traits were forged. How many such moments, lost to the deep time of prehistory, were there? How many desperate gambles against titanic beasts and merciless hunters were the true sparks that ignited the long, slow fire of human consciousness, proving that the mind, in its infancy, could be the most dangerous weapon on the planet? This is the sound of survival, not written in stone but carried on the wind. And the wind carries whispers of new giants, whose footsteps make the mountains tremble.